First thing, we have 4 tools we will be using. We are back to reality, back in Kentucky. We are home from Rick Ross's house from the car show, which was, as you guys might have seen, a whole project. Took me, what, 4.5 days to actually cut it. Stuck around for the car show, and then pretty much 4 weeks of planning to be able to pull it off, because obviously I don't live in Atlanta, I'm from Kentucky. So we are, like I said, back to reality, back to work until the next celebrity reaches out. Fingers crossed, hopefully that is sometime soon. But let me show you what we are working on today. We got a couple of boxwoods, 4 of them to be exact. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but this one has already been trimmed. The oddball out of all of them. So the other 4, we are going to be shaping up, making some satisfying / funny content with this. A lot of people always ask me, what do you use to trim the bushes? How do you clean them up? Yada, yada, yada. And I'll show you guys that in this video. But the first thing, we have 4 tools we will be using to trim these bushes. Each bush is going to be trimmed by a different tool. I'll show you what I'm working with really quick. The first bush will be just a normal hedge trimmer like this one right here. This is the Stihl HLA 135K. This is a battery powered trimmer. A lot of guys are anti-battery, and with good reasoning, to be honest, for most tools. But this one right here, I really like it. It's comparable to gas-powered hedge trimmers. So far, I don't have a whole lot of time using it, but I mean, I've used this several different times, and it's still on 4 bars of battery. The battery life so far seems to be very well. It cuts great. Like, there's no difference in a gas-powered trimmer and this electric trimmer in terms of power and cutting ability. Enough with that. So we're gonna use that Stihl hedge trimmer on the first bush. The second bush, you may or may not have seen me use these before, but when gas gets a little bit too expensive, we pull these out to save a little money. These are hand shears. So the old-fashioned way. You see me all the way around the bush. People like the sound, people like the content with these. So this is what I'll be using on the second bush. And the third bush, we're gonna challenge ourselves a little bit more. We're gonna use the same style, but smaller and hand-powered. So we'll go through this bush and kind of waste some time and, you know, shape it up with pretty much a glorified pair of scissors, which, you know, I might be sweating by the time I get to the third bush. And the final bush, which, you know, I would never do this out in the field, but I have a little bit of time and I like a challenge. So first one, hedge trimmer. Second one, hand shears. Third one, handheld, scissor-like hand shears. The fourth bush, fingernail clippers. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. See how far I get, if I can shape this up with fingernail clippers or not. But I guess we'll see. Another question, how do you trim out bushes out of mulch? So there's several different ways that I do this. Most of the time, I'll use a blower and I'll lightly blow out the clippings to where I'm not blowing out the mulch, but the clippings on top are being blown out. And then I'll rake it up, throw it in my square barrel, and then throw it in my dump trailer, take it to the place where I dump my debris at. Another method, which if you don't have many bushes, I like this one because it makes cleanup a little bit easier, is I use a tarp. You can use a bed sheet and just kind of lay it around, so therefore whenever you clip the clippings, they just fall off onto the tarp. You pull it out and dump it into the can. Let's get into this. First bush is down, or done rather. Using the steel electric 135K. Turned out pretty good. Time for the second one. This time, like I said, we are going to be using the longer hand shears. This is one of the main reasons I don't always use a sheet. It's because it's kind of a pain in the butt to put down for every single bush. I actually prefer a bed sheet over a tarp because it seems to be more flexible and it goes with the contour of the landscaping a lot better. There's bush number 2 with the hand shears. Word on the street is that using hand shears like this is actually better for boxwoods. The reason behind that is you're cutting each blade on the boxwood less times because you're doing it by hand rather than using a machine that goes and cuts it hundreds of times. So when you trim a boxwood with a hedge trimmer, sometimes if you do it in the summertime, you'll see this, where the tips of it have been cut several times. They turn brown, and it kind of gives it a brown shade temporarily, and then after a couple weeks, it goes away, based off experience. But it's definitely much harder and more time consuming to do it with hand shears rather than a hedge trimmer, but we're not here to do things the easy way. We want the hard way every time. So let's make it harder. Next bush, scissor style topiaries. third bush has been trimmed. Like I said, we got it with the hand shears, literally hand shears. Shaped it up. Takes quite a bit longer, as you could imagine, than the longer ones, and quite a bit longer than the machine. But people on the internet seem to absolutely love the satisfyingness of hand trimming. I don't know if they just like to see me work harder, or if they genuinely like watching me trim bushes by hand. Nonetheless, we got it done. The final challenge is next. I can't believe I'm gonna do this. Fingernail clippers. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. Wish me luck. This is so stupid. Why am I doing this? Alrighty, that is it. Trimmed with fingernail clippers. What a waste of time. But we got it done. So we went from machine powered electric hedge trimmer, easiest, to the longer hand shears, to the handheld hand shears, to the fingernail clippers. It's not perfect, but it's trimmed. What do y'all think about that? What's the next challenge? What should I trim a bush with next? Let me know in the comment section. Time to put all this stuff away and on to the next job. See you guys later.